Are we okay to start now?
All right, I'm rolling.
Iowa was good, and it was even, I guess, pretty impressive when you watched it again on film. So I don't want to take anything away from them. When you have three guys go 13 of 14 from the three in a game, that's pretty impressive. That's hard to do in the gym by yourself, but they did it, and give them a lot of credit. I don't know if we drank the poison of success or just being a little bit different and young, not having a walkthrough, getting in late, having some travel adversity, and not being in that gym at all until game time, which was the first time that's happened to us this season. But we were flat, and they were really good. I think Iowa was a team that should have expectations of being at least into the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. I think they're that good, and they made us pay. So on to the next. It's Wisconsin, and obviously I think that maybe, if not the best, the most valuable player probably to his team in college basketball, and Ethan Happ coming to town. It's pretty impressive to see a young man and look in the record books and see him in the top 3 or 4 in just about every category, including steals and points and rebounds and assists. He's very good. They're obviously coming off a big win against Michigan, and they got a huge night from him. But they're more than him. Trice is having a very, very good year. And, Brad Davison's one of the great tough guys in our league. Jack of all trades, does a little bit of everything. And this is a very good Wisconsin basketball team. I thought preseason, I thought this was the best team in the league, probably the team to beat. But Hat makes them go, and we've got our hands full with it.
Brad, what will be key for Georgie? Assume he's matching up with Ethan Happ. What will be key from that?
Staying out of foul trouble. You've got to do your work early with Ethan. You've got to make. It's real easy to say don't let him get to his spots anywhere on the court, and they'll do a variety of things with him, from bring the ball up the court. I think one of the great things that happened to him was last year. Trice goes down, and he literally plays the point, and he became comfortable. And he's not just a low block guy, but he gets it to the block. And for a guy that's a 49% free throw shooter, and for a guy who's not going to make a three, he gets it wherever he wants. And you cannot, he makes it very, very challenging to double, just simply because he's like the other night against Michigan, I think 25 points and 8 rebounds and 7 or 8 assists. He's a 5 assist a game guy, and that makes the other guys very effective. So he's hard. You got to make him work for it, and then you got to make him guard at the other end.
You mentioned Georgie's basketball IQ and his passing abilities. Are there similarities there between he and Ethan, or what could develop into similarities?
Yeah, I told him to watch a lot of film of him. I see a lot of that, and Georgie's maybe not ready for that much freedom yet, but their skill sets remind me a lot of each other, and the way they pivot, the way they have the ability to use either hand. Now that's an awfully big compliment to Georgie, to try to put him and say he's Ethan Happ right now. You're talking about arguably one of the top 5 players in college basketball, so and maybe one of the all-time greats to ever play at Wisconsin. So hopefully he gets there.
Yeah. Tevin's really brought some energy and played well when he's been on the court. How does he maybe stay on the court a little longer just and avoid some of those quick fouls that he's had the last 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, that's been his biggest problem. I don't know if that's a nervous energy. I think that he's trying to play really, really hard, and it's just comfort. Scott, I think he's got to grow into, finding the speed of the game. Mentally has to slow down for him, familiarity. He does. He provides an energy for us. He provides a pace for us that on the offensive end that's good. He's showing why he's such a good shooter. He just has that ability. So we need him on the court, and we're starting to feel more and more comfortable with him. And he's got to feel more and more comfortable when he's out there and not commit the silly fouls.
A couple things about the local kid, Zach Griffith. The transition from manager last year to walk-on this year, how did that happen?
Well, I think he's a kid that felt awfully comfortable as a player. That he was a guy that wanted to do this, and he approached us in the off season about wanting to get involved and wanted to be a part of the team. We had a spot, and we knew what a guy was. I mean, when he was a manager, he was involved in all the activity drills with the ball and so on and so forth, and we knew he had some ability, and he is an incredible worker. He's the guy that puts in all the extra time. He's going to be, at some point, he's going to have his moment. He's going to have his time, and he's a really good shooter. He's spending all the extra time with Fletch in the weight room, and when his body starts to fill out, he's a kid that's got a great skill set.
He told me today that he was kind of the scout team Ethan Happ. So how has he adapted to that role and been helping you guys in that way?
Yeah, I mean he's skilled enough. He's not 6'9" or 10 like Ethan, but he's the same guy that can put the ball down on the floor, and he can he uses either hand around the basket, and his skill set is the guy that best fits us, and he has the ability to do that. And he proves to be a pretty hard guard, and he's physical, and he plays extremely hard.
Brad, you've talked a lot about how the Big Ten is the best league in the country. How much did this last week kind of show that, showing the highs and lows, and how important is it to now return home and defend that home court?
I think it's not just with us. I think you go look at, Indiana. You go look at, Rutgers beats Nebraska last night, a team of 5 seniors. You go look at, Iowa early in the year getting beat by Michigan State, and maybe with the exception of the Michigan schools. I mean, you've seen that. You've seen Minnesota go into Wisconsin and win, and this league is a league that is going to make you pay if mentally you're not there, and physically the players are so good, the coaches are so good, you don't show up mentally, you're going to lose, and that's top to bottom, and I think it speaks volumes to every coach in this league and the caliber player.
Coach, where's Kipper right now after back-to-back scoreless games? And I think it's more than just scoring that you want more from him. Just where do you think he's at, and what's kind of your message been to him?
Yeah, we've had some conversations here in the last couple days, and I don't know if he's in a great place. It'd be be lying if I said he was. I mean, there's I think he's frustrated with the fact that he's not maybe played to his own standard. But I think now it's about the very simple things: loving the game and enjoying the game and playing it the right way. And there's I talked to Kip yesterday about it's life lessons. Sometimes things get really, really hard, but when you love it and you have a passion for it, you work extra hard at it to get it right. And Kip's that kind of guy. He'll do that, and we got to, jump shot wise, back doing some basic, just fundamental things to kind of get him lined back up a little bit, but again, we've got a lot of confidence. Today, he jumped up and he made shots, and it's a fine line, confidence and no confidence, and when you've got a bunch of confidence, that ball goes in. When you don't, it can wear on you, and we need Kip not to worry about making shots. Just worry about playing hard and being a great teammate, and the rest of that stuff will take care of itself.
Well, Sunday maybe another positive step forward for Samba in terms defensively, just the way he guarded Luka Garza.
Yeah, it's when Samba understands completely the positioning, you see what his height and his athleticism can provide. And the one challenge we're having with Samba is, is doing his work early. Not getting penned in all the time and sealed. And he continues to grow on the offensive side. But there's no doubt. Every minute Samba plays helps him from a confidence standpoint, and we continue to see. We didn't have Adonis in that game; he was out with the flu. And we knew his ability to run. There's some plays Samba makes just absolute running the court where he keeps up with Tyler Cook that are really impressive. And there are a lot of little things that he's doing well and he's much better at, but there's still some positioning things that we've got to keep working with him with.
2 straight starts for Lamonte. I know you guys maybe aren't worried about how much he scores, but what does he do in that starting lineup that makes him such a good fit there?
Well, he's unbelievable defensively. He's rock solid. In fact, Lamonte probably, he's vocal, he talks, he understands it. He probably overhelped a couple of times, but it's he's one guy that I truly trust in terms of, give him an assignment and he's going to follow it, and he knows what he's going to do, and he's playing with confidence on the offensive end. He's shooting the ball very well. We need him to continue to do what he's doing, and he gives us a sense of toughness, and he's back offensive rebounding again, which I like, and he's very good at.
Brad, Wisconsin's been tough to solve for a long time now for Illinois. What did you learn about facing them last year, and what are the dynamics of that slower tempo that they play versus what you want to do?
Yeah, I think they've got, Bo Ryan was in here this fall for a clinic, and I made the comment to him, and not that I'd make it to Greg as well, but Greg's part of that same family, that tree. The one thing that has always impressed me about Wisconsin is their guys play for the University of Wisconsin. And they play hard. They want to be a part of that. And Brad Davidson's a great example. That young man is tough. He separates his shoulder last year. He comes out of the game. They take him back in the tunnel. They pop that sucker back in, and he's back in the game. And they know exactly how they're going to play. And, it's always kind of next man up. And I have a tremendous appreciation for that. And Greg's continued to develop that. They do what they do. And now they have really good players. They have one of the best players in the country. And, they're a handful every single night. And it doesn't matter, if you want to run, they'll run with you. If you want to play half court, they're going to play half court with you. And they don't beat themselves. And along the way, they've got seem to stay old and yet mix in a new guy here or there. But it's a very, very good basketball team, and it has been for quite some time.
How important is it to learn quickly from those closeout mistakes, over rotations, when you face a team that's shooting 39% from three?
Yeah, no doubt. Very similar to that game. We've talked about that a lot in scouting. You've got to get to Reavers on the perimeter. You've got to get to King when he's in the game. You've got to get to Pritzl. You've got to get to those guys. And it's real easy to get consumed with Ethan and get worried about him, and yet those guys are the ones that shoot the dart that put you down for good. We've got to be very, very dialed into those guys, and it's why they're good. It's why Ethan makes them very, very good. They space the floor with shooters and can hurt you from a lot of ways. So offensively, this is a pretty talented group.
Georgie's gonna MC Jack Jams next week. Is him with a mic in his hand? He's just gonna be in his element there, maybe?
That's pretty scary. I haven't bought my ticket yet. I may have to go for just the sheer amusement. No, I think if anybody saw the Big Ten interview that they did with him, and his nothing's off limits with Georgie. That's the best way to put it. But that'll be fun, and he's. When you really talk to Georgie, you find out how he grew up, and you find out how sincere and passionate he is, but you also find out what a tremendous character he is and how funny he is, and it's so genuine, and it's nice to see a guy who's doesn't take getting 3 square meals a day for granted, and being able to shower more than once a week for granted, and he loves life, and I have great appreciation for how simple he sees things. So, but yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a good night, and I probably don't want to go because I'll probably be made fun of somehow.
Coach, I might be asking the obvious here, but has a decision been made on Anthony Higgs, whether he'll play again this year, redshirt, or anything like that?
Yeah, he will not play. Anthony's had some issues with the foot in terms of just healing, and it's taken a little while longer, and there's no sense jeopardizing a year with what we think could be a very bright future. And so he'll continue. He's in workouts with Fletch and continue to do that, and then he gets an extended off season. And that's the important piece right now, is to get him healthy and to get his body right. By the way, this is Coaches versus Cancer Week, so if you see us in sneakers and ties, it's something I'm extremely involved with the American Cancer Society. We've got our event here April 16th, which will be a great lineup that we'll announce here very shortly, with some other college coaches coming in that are very near and dear to me. And we have it out at Gordyville. We had over 600 last year. We're expecting up to 750 this year, all to help in that fight. And then just bring awareness to it. I'm on the national committee. Yesterday we went to the cancer center here and visited with patients, and we forget there's a lot more to life than once we get outside the basketball walls and of State Farm Center and Ubben, and it was great. Our guys were incredible yesterday with those patients, and really enjoyed the time up there. So I do want to mention that and push that. It'll be a fun night on April 16th.
Is it a dinner banquet?
Dinner banquet, yeah. Thank you.